The D minor prelude from the second book is one of those that I think gets a bad treatment because it seems to us pianists that it is a sort of a virtuoso piece, and it is often played as such and therefore meant to sound like if you want an easy piece of virtuosity, but nonetheless virtuosity. I disagree, and I mean, if you have followed this series, you will have realized by now that I have rather strong views about speed in Bach, and that I think virtuosity really rarely plays a part at all. Grounds for disagreement here, apart from concepts like tempo ordinarios, which in any case I don't think strictly applies in here. There is another rule which I haven't discussed so far, but it will come very much into play in Book 2 for deciding a tempo at the Baroque age. And in fact it does carry on to the classical period, which is what is the shortest note value in a piece of music. And if you have only quavers, then your quavers will be at a certain speed. If you do happen to have semiquavers, then you will have to slow down a bit your quavers so that the semiquavers can exist without being too rushed. If you have demi-semiquavers, again you need to slow down a notch more. Now this is typical of a piece which, when you look at it for the start, well, you think, okay, well, semiquavers is fine, I can do that. But Bach did actually insert, not many, but a few demi-semiquavers, and those fare very badly in interpretations that get too fast, because I'll play you. So at my speed, they are that quick. When you are doing... and it's simply too rushed. There is another, well, there are two other reasons for which I think anyway it should be slower. The writing is too detailed and too intricate for those very fast speed. When you come to part like that, it's in some ways it's almost too lyrical, and you miss it all if you just do you trivialize it, the piece. And the last element, which to me, well, is much more subjective, but I do in some way associate this piece with the D minor concerto for harpsichord, particularly the last movement. And when I take the same speed, I find it just works perfectly well. And as usual, that slower speed allows me to do much more in terms of phrasing. So for example, instead of I can do it. So yes, that is another of those preludes, and I'm aware that there has been a few already, where I plead for a much lower speed, and I feel quite strongly about it. The fugue, its chief interests lie in its absolutely wonderful subject. which is very much like throwing something and seeing it fall down the ground very slowly. It is a wonderful, wonderful effect. It plays with this a great deal, and it allows him to treat it as a sort of canon. So the utter dynamism of the initial impetus and then the gradual slow melting down of the second half makes this fugue of quite a distinct character. Polyphonically it is rather simple, but it is one of those that sticks in the memory because the subject is so unusual.